Hi, this is Manoj Agrawal from Banking Frontiers. We are having a panel discussion today on the topic of collections and how it is just like how it has evolved. May I begin with requesting all our panelists to briefly introduce yourself?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Alok here. I work with Tata Motor Finance and I am the Chief Operating Officer over here. And thanks for having me here, Manoj. Nice to be here.
Absolutely. Pleasure is ours as well.
Hi guys, hi everyone. My name is Anant. I am the co-founder of Finbox. We are a fintech embedded finance and credit intelligence company. Thank you for having me here.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. I'm Kunal Verma. I'm one of the founders of MoneyTap. Started out by launching India's first credit line product, and since then we've evolved into multiple credit products, and probably we are one of the largest in that sector today.
Hello everybody, I'm Srinath Kompella. I'm the co-founder of Vivify India Finance Private Limited. We operate with the brand name of Flex Salary. We also have India's first pay with credit, scan and pay with credit, FlexPay. Here also our focus is the underserved or unserved customer base. And I at Flex Salary manage all of the collections. Nice to meet all of you here.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure and privilege to be part of this STEAM panel.
May I now request Sri Kumar for his introduction?
Thank you, Manoj. I started my career as a banker way back 1996, joined as a PO in Canara Bank and moved to their subsidiaries. And fortunately or unfortunately, I had the real life experience in the field. So thank you, Manoj, to give this opportunity, and we'll go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Since we are talking of chess as the background, are you able to take most of your decisions with a relatively small amount of thinking? Or are there some things you really have to think deep and before you come to some kind of decision? If you have, then please share an example. What is the big thinking that's going on? What is causing you to really think?
A very interesting question, Manoj. I was not expecting this. But let me say that, like with most things, I believe a certain 80-20 rule applies for most of my days. The balance is where the real energy lies. So I would say in terms of two aspects, right? One is running the business, and then the other is managing a personal time. On the business, I think most of the operational decisions get taken care of with a fair amount of predictability and reduced volatility, probably because we have a good team in place and a very good leadership team in place, very experienced professionals having a fair amount of, I would say, stability or ease. There are a bunch of actions, obviously, which throw everybody off, right, in terms of whether you call like an unplanned chess move or let's say a kind of getting thrown a googly in terms of cricket terms. And these have mostly been very outside in driven, like macro factors, like the entire black swan event of, let's say, the pandemic that happened, structuring piece, the whole collection, I would say, maze. These are matters which actually took a lion's share of the mental bandwidth. And they were probably not activities which could have got done with maybe just 2 steps of thinking. So just like in like classic game theory, which might get applied, let's say, on a board of chess, you probably needed to think 3 steps ahead, 4 steps ahead, and do the planning and kind of work backwards, keeping in mind the end objective. And the remaining operational activities did not. Other than all of this, I would just say that, activities which involve people, which are the right people on the right work or the right job and the right profile, that is something which probably deserves a disproportionately higher amount of mental bandwidth, because then you're responsible for people's well-being and career as well as the work.
See, in our business, as we are financing commercial vehicles mostly, some bit of personal cars also, you generally, in the last 1 year, what we have seen is generally it was a very straightforward business, right? If somebody bought a truck, it had to run and he got the money. School applications, college applications, right? And we were very comfortable with these kind of profiles because we knew that this guy is going to make money. Now, in the last 1 year, as you mentioned, the black swan event that happened of the pandemic, suddenly all these beliefs have gone for a toss. right? So whatever was the given, as you have to have your execution machinery well in place. And so these are the challenges that we also faced last year. And
Okay.
The getting the moratorium done when you couldn't go out of your homes or when people couldn't come to the offices were challenges, which then we moved into digital areas and saw how we could, the MSME restructuring that was happening.
Yes.
So we moved a lot of our activities to digital. And I think execution was the big changer, big game changer, because the people on the ground make a big difference. And I think that what changed around. I think I'm proud to say that probably the year that we closed, and I think the same story has started. But we are very confident that we will find ways and means to navigate this year also. And let's hope for the best.
Okay, that's great. So managing the whole business, the change in the business it's like a chess-like scenario, sudden move.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Manoj, so interestingly, I was listening all these, our clients, we always said we need some solution for the collection. So every time we used to tell, see, there is no panacea for collection. Only thing is we can give a vaccine. We cannot prescribe an antibiotics or Moxiclav, something like that. So only a vaccine is possible. But the thing is that even if you take a Covaxin or CoShield, there are some things which you have to undergo, certain restrictions you have to undergo. So the customers or the financial customers or the banks or NBFC, they think that introducing Spiridian solution and just plug and play, you get a collection. That concept has to be changed, because I feel every customer is unique, every defaulter is unique. So there is something you have to work continuously on, whatever the technology you're using, even in the house or even in the office without going outside, you can have your own collection mechanism working 24/7. So there is no hard and fast solution for any collection process. Even there is not a solution is invented so far with my experience that this you plug and play, the collection will come. Only thing is utilize their time at the optimal level and do the churning process. That is only possible for the collection. That is what, as a technology provider, I feel to convey to the rest of the financial institution, that because I was a banker, I also understood the pain that, and that is not a single solution. Only thing is you'll get a diary or the printed. So yeah. So the thing is that you have to use your manpower the best level.
So it has become from a game of snake and ladders long ago to a game of chess now.
Yeah.
And you really have to apply your mind. So let's dive deeper into this. Collections are topic for the day. In the current scenario, a lot of the organization's energy goes more into hunting for data, or is it more into processing all the data using the right kind of software, whether it's a ready-made software or an Excel software or something else? What is the bigger challenge nowadays? Getting the data or processing the data related to collections?
We deal with a customer who is already stressed. So put pandemic into the mix, and that takes them into a deeper stress. So to have the ability, so just to pick up a phone call and talk to the customer and say, hey, you're due, you want to pay, was not the norm, right? You couldn't just go ahead and talk the customer for payments. You needed to make sure that you understood the payments. So they get a statement that is due 10 days prior to their due date, and they have those 10 days to make sure that they at least can make the minimum requirement payments, their payment obligations. And we've seen that pre-pandemic, about 85 to 90% of them paid before they were due. But during the pandemic, that slipped to about 80% or so, acting the same on everybody, right? It is kind on some, it is unkind on the others. Whether it is the loss of job, whether it is dealing with the virus itself in them or their family. And in the most unfortunate scenario, deaths. So to deal with all of this, what we at the very beginning of the pandemic itself, we thought that we have to make sure that we have our homegrown, we configure ourselves about how we need to talk to the customer. If the customers are unable to pay, we need to make sure that we get at the bottom of why they can't pay, or when would be a better time for them to pay, or how would it be for them to pay. So we made sure that we made all of these provisions into our CMS such that when we look back, slightly more struggling to meet their requirements, we understood a lot more. So one, customer provided data is the best data that there is. So we used all of that. Obviously, we rely on the little bit of third-party data that we get. And all of our collections is in-house. We don't outsource to any third party. So all of it is in-house. We had the best year. Last year was our biggest year. Last month was our largest month in terms of new customer acquisitions. Our repayment behaviors have been the best at this point in time. Even pre-pandemic days, they're better than pre-pandemic days. And our ability to have a conversation with our customers, availability of data is the absolute key for collections. And that a third party data, I mean, to try and get a new phone number, we only talk to the customer. We believe that a loan is a private matter between the lender and the borrower. So we don't talk to their family, we don't talk to their friends, their employees, nobody, but to the customer alone, and directly getting inputs from the customer help during this pandemic period.
Fantastic. So is this data collection an ongoing exercise or more of a one-time exercise when the pandemic hit?
It is an ongoing exercise for us. Every time a customer reaches out to us or we reach out to a customer, we try and have a conversation with them. As I said, we trained and retrained our entire collections team to make sure that they'll.
Great. Anant or Abhijit, any other perspective on data collections or data processing?
Yeah, I think, I would really agree with Srinath here. And I think kudos to him for doing a great job. Was being mentioned, it's like a black swan event that has happened. And, a part of the portfolio is that remained pretty much, let's say, difficult to collect, has remained that way, but a significant chunk of population that dealing that kind of a pressure, they are in that conservation mode where they would not like to, let's say, part with their money immediately. They don't, because there's so much uncertainty in these given times, and taking cues from this is the second wave that we are seeing. It's of great importance that the collections processes be continued to be changed in the direction where they are customer centric, they are non-coercive, so in order to understand the customer better, there is a more change that needs to be brought within the system, a big time for most of the organizations. From the point of view of data, I think data collection is an ongoing exercise. Our intelligence product, one of the intelligence product called CollectX, leverages continuous stream of transaction data to track the change in financial position of order in which we see that we rank higher the part of the portfolio that is more susceptible to delinquency. Then we separately identify also the part of the portfolio that is capable enough to repay, but and that is visible in their financial transactions, but they are still in conservation mode, where this will be a negotiation of sorts. So we are already in the market with this collections product for consumer durable and personal loans, and I hope that this way we end up reaching like 90-95% of the collections.
Have changed, it's become more customer centric, and even your own organizations, people need to think differently and interact differently with customers.
Right. Some of the negative events that happened during the previous wave, and RBI did step in, and I think it has stepped in recently again, is just to make sure that that end borrower, we have to, so organizations must strike that balance between just transactional aspect of collections and then the humane aspect.
So the human aspect has become very critical in this scenario.
Definitely.
2, 3, 4 years ago, it was not an issue. The human.
Definitely.
So Srikumar, what kind of queries was coming to you to deal with the pandemic related collection processes?
Fine. Okay. Before that, see, some of the panelists, they are running their, their NBFCs, and hats off to them, those who have done exemplary records and collection. And if you are able to meet 80% or 90% what we are doing pre-pandemic situation, colleagues, those who are from the banks, that even the PSU bank and scheduled bank industry, they are having real struggle at the time of a pandemic situation, and it add more pain once the moratorium ended, once the moratorium team, the locking period or the holiday period was ended, and during the holiday time it was honeymoon, and you know that what is the real marriage life. You know that there is no hard and fast rule method for any collection. So for to come out this collection nightmare, and some of our clients went on with their conventional method of collection through interacting with the customers. So actually there are two remedies they looked on. One is to answer the queries, because you know that during the time there was a lot of queries has happened, and the second one was which they actually sought is to understand the customer properly and their default problems. To answer the queries, it's very important to the existing confusion and anxiety, like burning more fuel on the fire, and ultimately the relationship will get spoiled. Besides, if there is a heap of such queries, you know how much manpower has to be utilized or rather misutilized to manually answer these questions. So as a techie company, technology provider, we came out with a very simple trick with a WhatsApp communication. It's very easy. You can also Google it down and do it. But many of the customers never do such effort because everything they want a cake on a plate. So this WhatsApp solution, WhatsApp communication has solved major issues. So they were taking the moratorium, and it has become a really booster for already crippled the collection process. So they have turned up and made the payment. And we also provide another link for Google Pay links like that, so the customer can make the easy payments. And for those who are new to this, we suggested our clients to send the user guide for all them, because second one, you will take 1 minute extra. Second one is very important that you know that we are from Kerala. Kerala, it's a land of Ayurveda. It's very famous, world famous for this Ayurvedic way of treatment. And unlike the English way of medicine, where you have prescription of for fever, high fever, antibiotics, the unique method of Ayurveda is each patient is unique in that one. So the Vaidya or the physician will examine you properly in terms of your age, your family background, hereditary, and your eating habits and drinking habits. Both are important, interestingly, and the work what you are doing. Everything is same kind of disease to same doctor or the physician. He is not going to prescribe you the same kind of medicine. He will prescribe a slightly different one, depends upon your requirement. So that what we have done is, with our recent introduction of a unique product or unique concept in Canara Bank, which is the fourth largest amalgamated PSU bank in the country, where the entire spectrum of your customers will be scaled on 5 attributes, mainly on that. First of all, the past due amount, the DPD we call the days in past due. The exposure to the loan vis-a-vis the security coverage, because it's very, very important. And behavioral analysis and the response to the collection drive, because you will be already doing some collection drive process. Then we take the feed from the early warning signal, existing early warning signal, what they are using, and subsequent CIBIL like scores. And we can also add some ingredients like AI and ML flavors to have more analytical coverage, preferably of if you have large number of volume of customers. And see, you know, the collection in finance company, or whether you're working in a bank, the collection pain is common across everywhere. Only thing is the number of customers or the volume will be slightly different. The way you approach will be different. So we came out with a unique model to them, and we started giving this one. We run for a couple of days, and we rework the same, remold the same thing.
So given this information, Abhijit, may I ask you now, if you look at an analogy of collections with this pandemic, one is treatment of the individual, other is managing, let's say, the hospital, and at the very high level, managing, you know, the healthcare for the entire country. So from the collections perspective, hospital meaning, let's say, a category of customers, or at the national level for you would be your entire organization. Where do you see this data processing and data collection issues as a bigger challenge? Top level, middle level, or at the customer level?
The basic problem what we always face is we designed a product and we gave it to the clients without looking at the client's way of managing and repaying to us, right? So I think the basic, that's why when you said chess, I think it, first of all, it came to my mind was any product you do, you need to have a strategy behind that product, that when you are offering this product, Jobs said that, people didn't know what he's offering. So, but it is here, you know, actually it's a credit product. So, but you know really that the clients, can pay you in a EMI, clients pay you in a EWI, whatever. So first of all, and I'll give you 2-3 quick examples, not long ones. See, one of the major things we see in auto rickshaw finance today, most of the banks you go to, they don't like to give. You know why? One agency just figured it out. Simple thing they did. They said, can I help the banks to get their money back? What they will do is, the issue is it's cash, right? Issue is it's a daily collection. What's the point? If you put a person to keep 30 days money there, so they change it. They said every week they will collect, or if possible, they'll collect every day. Believe me, wonders worked out. The bank started getting their money well. So this happened in one place. And how it operates, they are all daily guys. Nobody designs a daily product of collection. They will give a daily savings. Some of the banks offer a daily savings,
Right.
but none of them offers a daily collection method. Now, with this technology intervention that's happening with all this amazing friends we're doing now, much younger than us and much more dynamic in terms of their understanding, I think we are seeing a paradigm shift there. That how do we can bring talk with, in remotes of Jaipur. I mean, he figured out the dairy loan, which is again another loan which banks always dread to give until unless it is insured covered, because the repayment rates are low. They figure out whatever loan he has given, all are 100% payment. You know why? Because he tied up with the collection period. He knows that cooperative collects the money gives the money every 7 or 8 days. He did a collection through that. But data can only aid only if you align your personal according to how to use the data, right? See, it is not a simple equation of saying that one size fits all. See, the challenge is like in a game of chess, you have the pawns, which is, I will say, our field officers getting the business and everything. So I think the strategy of a collection is somewhat like this, wherein you have to, the people who's going to do the next level of job. And I fully agree with Srinath, having an in-house, like say when you give to a person as a collection agent becomes a recovery agent. See, there's a difference between a collection and recovery. So I think one of the aspects, and which Srinath is amazingly building, I think, and many of you are building probably, is to see the data that what are the challenges. I mean, it's not even COVID, besides COVID. I mean, I'll give you another example. I work with a very small entity, in the remotest of, Bihar, UP and all. The first thing they did after COVID is, first thing they said, hey, collection, it is lockdown, we can't collect. Have you got it? Can I help you to get it? How do I help you so that I know? So how will they get attached to you? Because you are trying to think about their well-being. See, how many number of customers? We say there are millions, but it's a message also. Once you start talking, it could be also through a WhatsApp. Somebody said about WhatsApp. It could be communication through a WhatsApp to say, hey, we care, and this is what you need to do now. Somebody may miss a payment. It may be just that he forgot to create his account. He forgot the date. So I think the tone of the language of the person talking, he should know like 10 different questions to ask, and he should not get irritated. First of all, when you go into a recovery mode, what happens, or a collection mode, the moment you say somebody's default, you start looking inward like, oh, this guy is to take away my money. This guy is going to run away. I think the concept has to change from that. And that's what I think our new age friends are doing, is that change the approach. Talk to them. Yes, there's some problem. Let's understand. So, and see how we can address. I think that's what is the shift that's happening. And that if it is not happening, it has to happen. Because today we are depending on the supply also. Working capital, the goods which he needs to produce needs probably one type of component which is not available in the market now. He can't get it. I mean, how do we expect him to pay? So how can we be a bit more tolerant? How can we be a bit more like, listen, be firm, but listen. I mean, most of the time we collection, the way we do, aapne paisa nahi diya. You have not given the money. This is what I think Srinath was referring to probably. And this is what many of our friends are also doing nowadays, is change the approach. It's an issue of approach. See, one thing is very clear.
Can you come to that point about,
correct. I'll come
level versus middle versus top?
The next thing, last thing on this point is also you have to understand that somebody taken a loan, doesn't mean he also needs to be respected. See, there are two scenarios. One is scenario wherein you are doing, it's not a pandemic. Second scenario is a pandemic where everyone, if I say that somebody is not affected, maybe say it's personally affected. Like we work with a dairy company. Now dairy is doing well because obviously, it is one of the most important food components we need. So, but there are other businesses based on what type of customers we have backed, what is their situation, and accordingly deal with it. So coming to some of the sectors like logistics doing reasonably well, went to food logistics, right?
Right.
Then if you look at from a food and delivery logistics, right, entirely. And then if you look at from a agri, most of the agris are doing well. So if you look at, now think of from a transportation side, the passenger transport segment, fallen badly. I mean, many of the drivers, good intent, not able to pay because there's no cash, correct? So I think it is, some people will be better than the others. Some people who are regularly getting jobs. Like say today, the construction sector work has started because that is, exempted from. So if people are working in that segment, so if you know why data is helping us, if you know that the people you have given a loan to is in construction, if you know that they are into the agri segment, if you know they are into the logistics, that's when you can have a very targeted, differentiated approach. And that's where you know that which are the segments to be. So don't fit everyone into one bucket. Because they have taken small loan doesn't mean all will behave similarly because of the nature. So the data has become very critical there in terms of knowing who does what. And that's how I think the changes is happening and the strategies are different. So I would say, obviously the healthcare, some of them are really doing well, but many of them are not, because they are very specialized. Those things are not happening today. I mean, see, we know an Ayurveda hospital, as Sri Kumar said, what a wonderful approach. But they are a very good business. But right now, situation today, and we'll have to understand each of them and have a different strategy. So it has
And
become
each one
much
is dynamic also. It is not that if one is doing well, it will continue to do well.
true.
It may go down, someone else may go up. Oxygen manufacturing plants
All of a sudden,
suddenly is the greenest, most profitable business, or
but
at
doesn't
least a growing
continue
business.
for long.
So is it relatively easy to figure out which segments of customers need what kind of treatment? I mean, at an individual level, yes, it's easy. But as an organization, as a collections head with maybe 50,000 customers or 5 million customers, how do you do this?
The data provides you that information. But in today's situation, everybody, you need to become a little more customer centric probably. So you will have to find out from each customer, as I think Abhijit was also mentioning, essential commodities is today running very well, right? And essentials are doing well. So he would be probably earning his normal daily quota of money that he makes. But there is another guy who is attached to probably a vehicle manufacturer or a vehicle dealership, and he provides them some products. Now those are shut today, but the usages are different. And
Yes.
that is where you need to be that much more, I think you need to probe a little more to find out what the guy is doing, how he's making his money, what are his challenges, and then see how to give him a solution. So I think in today's situation, that is what has changed a lot. Earlier, you could have, so
So we
a lot
really,
more customer centricity has come into play now.
so KYC has jumped up multifold. I mean, earlier you need
Yeah.
basic
You need,
information to determine the
correct.
financial viability.
We have almost a base of 7 lakh customers today. And we are, well, this week, well, this month again, we have started this whole exercise and we did this last. Then, and we are collating all that data. We have our own collection system, like many of us mentioned. We have our own Lakshmi collection system, which manages all the data and all the feedbacks. So all the feedbacks are being put into that, trying to see what we need to do with each maybe region, each zone, each segment, and then find a solution for that person.
One thing to add, Manoj, I think what Alokji said also, I think again going back to Srinath's point of the data. Now, see today, I mean, let's look at the restructuring package today. What it says for SME loans, right? Small, medium SME loans, right? Now think of it, earlier, many of them we are not capturing that what is the person doing. We are saying personal loan. But the moment we can see that the guy is actually into a business, because for him, he takes a, he's a SME. The loan is for SME, basically. So what happens in the same structure, because if many of our partners are doing BCs, right? So this is actually a bank portfolio. So all are eligible actually for restructuring, which is probably needed today. So I think that's how the data has become much more critical when you have that granularity of data, right?
Right.
What is the purpose and what they are doing.
That kind of granularity of data was never required.
Right.
So Kunal, if I may come to you and ask you, so one thing is very clear from so many that you need to talk a lot more to the customers, whether on phone or WhatsApp or whatever. So does this mean that at least for the timing, the industry needs a lot more people, business people to process the data? What is your take on that?
Sure. I think, first of all, there's only a certain section of the business that one should plan to scale linearly in terms of adding people as the business grows. Because overall, across the board, if you just keep adding people as the business grows, it's not very efficient. Talking about the point of engaging with customers, how do you engage with more customers? So the one thing that we realized is that customers do need a personal connect or a personal touch, but they don't all the time need somebody talking to them on the phone. Customers are okay getting personalized messages, notifications, reminders, follow-ups. You and I get is just amazingly high,
That's
right?
true.
Right from getting spam calls for some unsolicited sales of products to cards to telecom to anything and anything and everything. The customers are they are very skeptical of picking up phone calls from unknown numbers. So there is a fine balance to be of channels needs to be used. Things like WhatsApp for business, SMS, personalized email, in some cases even postal mails if it's a particular geography, maybe IVR messages, pre-recorded messages. If you're actually interacting with a customer through a mobile app, then having an in-app notification or a multimedia content which connects to the customer, that definitely has importance, but that should be reserved for a certain section of customers where the need is paramount and where you believe that an automated communication, even though personalized, may not really work well. So in terms of adding people, whether it is for calling, whether it is for data analysis, you do need people to set processes in data science team. You need to have a very strong technology team, but there has to be a certain limit to how much you add in terms of people. So if you set the right processes in place, you're setting up the right infrastructure in place, then you don't need to throw warm bodies at problems around technology and data science and interpretation is concerned, or following up or getting a P2P like a promise to pay and so on is concerned. So certain set of actions, yes, but not for the remaining.
Anant, do you have something to add in terms of different kinds of people that would be required in the current scenario and even planning for the future? If there could be a talent shortage of a particular.
I think from what just taking forward from where Kunal left off, I think it makes sense to not think of scaling up in a way that adding people, especially from collections point of view, that adding people is the way to go. In fact, of your collections operations without adding people is pretty much I would say is the need of the hour, because with of course adding people, costs get added, which are these people may not be required 2 months down the line anyway.
Correct.
And therefore if we have to think long term, then it makes more synergies that will in fact reduce the dependency on people. And I think we were also mentioning that communication is not just about talking. It's basically, in the day and age of digital devices, WhatsApp, apps, communication is rather better driven through digital, just chess analogy, pawns have to do, let's say, grunt work and long-term work for gaining benefit. So some of this could be actually increasing your engagement with your borrowers through your mobile apps, so that is the borrowers who retain your app are actually 20 to 25% less delinquent than those who uninstall your app. So in good times, keep your borrowers engaged with things other than, talking about just about collections or just about doing transactional. Especially, you can do so much to help out your borrowers, because information availability is critical at this point, right? Be it about vaccinations, be it about availability of medical infrastructure or services. So all of this could be put seamlessly in. Paytm has come out with a product where a customer can easily check in their locality if vaccination becomes available. They'll get a notification.
That's
So something
interesting.
like that actually adds to the customer's closeness or proximity to you as a business, rather than just having those transactional feelings.
That's a fantastic example. Fantastic. It just came to my mind that when you're talking with India is a land of so many languages. So probably during stressful times, collection times, it's better to talk to the person in his or her own language. Sri Kumar, my question to you is technology mature enough to do that without messing it up? Because this is a very touchy topic. If your
Yeah.
message is wrong, then how do you make sure that technology doesn't goof up things? Murphy's law, when you're doing million messages.
Correct. Manoj, Manoj, a good question. See, as a technology provider, we have to answer even when the clients ask them whether it's going to work or not. Nowadays, IVR and SMS, people hardly look into that. But at the same time, what he said is right. WhatsApp-like messages, people have the habit of looking everything. Number one. Number two, in terms of the calls, if you have a monotonous way of calling, sir, you have this many default when you are going to pay. This is the things which you are asking and call. You have to use your own mobile device to call the customers. No. But when you ask the customer, sir, my purpose is not even to ask when you are going to make the payment. I just want to find out, are you finding any difficulties in your present job, or you have to filter the customer. You don't ask the same questions to even the government employees, home, work from office, or work from wife house. They are happiest person, and for like MNC and other companies. But so you find out, you just ask him, sir, I just want to spare 5 minutes. I just want to check you whether everything is all right or not. And recently, we have suggested, very interestingly, we have suggested of Canara Bank also to add one more data. I'm calling the say XYZ customers, how are you? Everything is, have you vaccinated? Some customers will reciprocate that. What are you going to see that where I'm going to die or not? I'm going to make the payment or not? I failed the payment. And definitely, this is the bounce back questions he is going to ask. The moment we ask the question, revert the questions, what we are going to know, sir, it's not for that purpose. Maybe it's very difficult for a bank like Canara Bank to offer such kind of thing, but the first word itself will make you think much better, sir. You just want to ensure that you are safe and secure. So my purpose of calling is not to ask you when you are going to make the payment. My purpose of calling is to make everything is happy or not. And I will call you maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Please spare 10-15 minutes. So I want to get the detail from you.
Basic question is then again, did Canara Bank put additional people into the role?
For this, see, you cannot expect nowadays putting additional people to the role. The best thing is what we can do is, everyone expect that there should be immediate result if you introduce any period of time, whenever you have such kind of software. And in the initial time itself, the recovery indications will be very symptomatic when the first couple of days or 1 or 2 weeks, once you introduce this one. So that is one side. Other side, you have less or shortage of staff, first of all, and we introduced this immediately the pandemics in September, October, November. So what we did, we want to have a trial of this, how the system is working. So
Okay.
keeping this in mind, the toughest job for a technical solution was to choose the best mode of collection tracking of each and every customer. So we allowed the client to run the show in the live available stuff or available paraphernalia. Okay. So what we have done, we removed all kinds of the traditional method of sending the SMS and IVR and email and everything. Instead of that, we ask the recovery team or the branch managers and the branch staff level of call. That is again for the recovery purpose only. We are concentrated more on the SMA special mentioned account 012 and just NPA customers. So few of the customers only push to the call center. We have not pushed all the customers to the call center because they have having a call center, third-party call center application. We found how many customers are responding positively. So some of the customers, when they are not getting an SMS or IVR, when the call is coming from the bank, definitely they listen because otherwise they know that n number of such SMS were coming or mails were coming. So they listen to that one. And we asked them to note down the customer response. What exactly the person is telling in a drop-down box. Approach, we gave the waterfall approach, waterfall mode of approaching the customers. I'm again telling with the available stuff because we told that we don't have 100 call a day. You take only or 20 or 25 per person per day and find out what the result is coming. The waterfall approach is that once you have one set of tracking or interacting the customers, find the result. Customers are responding positively. We categorize them as in industry we used as low-hanging fruits. So why you should low-hanging customers to the call center and they bill for that? So you hold the customers near to you. Then the second level of customers, you do second level of approach. Then only you go for the next method. So categorizing the customer based on the response, based on their degree of default, based on their security aspects, you have your own a particular approach for each and every customer.
You can optimize that way
Yeah.
and make it efficient. Okay.
Definitely.
What impact do you think a better collection system will have on your revenue growth, on the top line?
See, the top line, what we have seen is the top line is also what we have in place is something known as the RSPM, which is the risk-based calculation method, in which what happens is you put the details of the customer and you get an output, whether it's a go or a no go, what is the IRR and what is the LTV and stuff, you get an output. Now that output is directly linked to the current delinquencies that we are facing, and the delinquencies will be much lower. If the delinquencies are lower, the output of the RSPM model will be much better, and therefore the top line will automatically increase. So in any situation, if your collections are doing well, your top line will increase because that shows that the market is good at this moment. There is demand for the product, but in vehicles, this is a very standard phenomena that happens.
And how can collections then push when the market is not so good? That is also something I'd like to hear from our participants. Abhijit, what would you say?
Well, see, the business of financing is all about collection. So somebody rightly said that, on the vehicle side, but for me, it is very, very important that, delinquency is the first one. I mean, if we address, then our revenues are going up, right? And collection, as a process will always be there because though nobody can say with any degree of assurance that whatever they lend will come 100%. So you will have to manage. So I think it's better that we equip ourselves, that we reduce our risk. Obviously, there will be delays and default, and come out with human approaches to reduce the the delinquency and ensure the better collection. So I'll always say that try to work towards in a system wherein of predictive analysis, ensuring that you have enough market intelligence and be proactive in that. Actually, at the end of the day, what Alokji and I are saying are the same. Basically, which takes first approach. So I think you build it accordingly, build it strong, and then move on those lines. Do much more predictive, much more intuitive approach. And it is not like everything cannot be defined in risk. Not most of the things can be defined up to a level. You take on the entrepreneur, you take on the business, you take on the person. I know today with a retail loan, it is not possible. Much more better in the corporate and where the loan size are a bit bigger. But very small retail loan of 5, 10, 20,000 is difficult. But what Mr. Chadha generally lends to, and we do, I think we have to be careful in terms of where we are lending. Have we done the right type of analysis? And
lending is a business of risk management, ultimately, banking, lending. If you are investing in a better collections management system, people, process, technology, whatever, let's say you're putting X crores into that, will you also hire more salespeople?
Essentially, investing in collections, would it yield would it lead to higher sales as well? Would we want to invest in higher sales as well? Well, it depends on which part of collections we can improve. For example, if we can improve customer get defaults in the first, second, third month, if we can reduce that, then that's like a gold mine. So that's if we, for example, just to take an example, if we do 25% better on reducing early delinquencies, then this actually opens up similar amounts, let's say 15 to 20%. And as time goes on, as your delinquencies become deeper and deeper, there is of course loss of interest income, but there is also additional operational cost that comes to you. And so therefore the each additional money, rupee or that you collect, it becomes more and more expensive. The better you can do on the origination side. Otherwise, it's towards the end of it, it's more like salvaging what you have at the end of it, right? So towards the end of the loan life cycle.
Makes sense, and that's a good explanation. Thank you, Anand. Srinath, what would you say?
Manoj, I think who you bring into the door will define how the portfolio will work and what collection measures need to be undertaken. So whether it is fraud identification or identification of the ability of the customer to repay or their intent to repay, that is the first door that the customer passes on. And then the last leg is our ability to collect, right? So if we were to become a better collection company, and if we were to become I think it makes sense that if you are getting better access to tools. I already think that India has the greatest payment systems in the world. I think we have now coming into customer education is also one of the best in the world. So in consideration of all of this, I think if we are expanding collections team, we would have expanded.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Srinath. Kunal, your thoughts, please.
Yeah, sure. So for us, I think investing in collections, whether it is systems, the people, the processes, has definitely yielded results. This is something that we've already tasted the success of. So what I think what it helps us do better is it helps us take maybe better, stronger in expanding our business as far as risk-adjusted returns is concerned, right? So in the business of credit, you have to look at risk and you have to look at adjusted returns. So the team feels more confident in venturing out, diversifying your portfolio, building more granularity, more diversity, trying out new geographies, new locations. And that happens on the basis of confidence that we can eventually collect in those locations. And good customers, you don't never need to worry about. It's the non-good customers, so to speak, that really cause worry. Writing and the business teams have felt higher confidence that they can now open up new segments and expand the business, which in turn has obviously lifted the top line. So the short answer is yes, Manoj, and that's the longer explanation.
Great, thank you. And Srikumar, any closing remarks on this, collections versus business growth?
We had two learnings. One is a tangible outcome. The second one is intangible. Tangible is that after introduction of the software or the particular application, the customer is able to find out who will pay and who will not pay at all. Two things: good defaulters. See, imagine I'm talking about good defaulters, not bad defaulters, and stress to pay. The second category is that tough to pay and hard to pay. So using your equipments, using your manpower, using your all kinds of available resources, optimal level for the first 2-3 category of customers, all defaulters are not bad. So some defaulters are good. So imagine that when you have a customer-centric approach to tackle the customers, I'm sure that these customers will be along with you. They are not going to away from your institution or from your organization. Two advertisement, it comes to strike me. One is the stain is good. Daag achhe hai. Stain is always good. So you feel that your child is coming after soiled clothes. So I'm sure that all the parents, one side they will be a little bit anxious, the other side they will be happy that at least the child is active and child is playful. And see the other advertisement, the counter advertisement given by Procter and Gamble, that remove tough stains. So any application or any software should have syncing between these two things. At customers, you must be tough with them and push these kind of customers to the legal and recovery recourse to the next level of team. And this is what a technology has to provide to the end customer or the financial institutions through the automated process or business intelligence. That's what I feel on the collection per se.
Very interesting. So we have a mixture of aerial and surf.
I'm telling this is possible. The only thing you see, it has to run over a period of time. All of a sudden, it may not work, but you see, any software has to have its own churning time. Maybe the down the line 6 months, 12 months. By the time you will be getting the residue that which is your good customer, which is your bad customer. Be good always with your customer.
Interesting. Thank you. Thank you all very much. It's been a very interesting discussion. Lots of good insights have come out. Hope you all found the discussion useful. I'm sure you viewers also would find it useful. And I think this is a topic that there can be further discussions as well. So maybe banking front as well. So right now it's so many NBFCs, and I pray for your safety, for the safety of your family members, all the colleagues working in your organizations. And please be in touch. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Manoj.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you,
Look forward to be in
everyone.
touch. Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Take care. Have a good day.